presenting on a little PowerPoint on why, on like nuclear power and some of the benefits of it. So what is nuclear power? Nuclear power is made in nuclear reactors. Inside nuclear reactors, there is fuel. This fuel can have quite a few heavy elements such as plutonium, uranium, thorium, and it works by breaking these materials, creating heat, which evaporates water, turning a turbine, creating energy. It is widely believed nuclear power stations are hazardous, which they are, but no more than coal or oil plants. Uranium reactors are the most common, being slightly dangerous. A lot of people, when they hear nuclear, think of green glowing goo in yellow barrels, but that is not often the case. The media has portrayed nuclear to be worse than it actually is, and that's what we have tried to discuss here. Here I'll just be debunking some myths. Despite Chernobyl and Fukushima, there has been other accidents such as 3 Mile Island or the radiotherapy accidents. But including all nuclear accidents, there's only been around 350 deaths at lowest and 9,000 at highest death attributed to nuclear accidents, which is still a high number. Some of these include radiotherapy accidents, though, which is a story for another day. While there are a lot of deaths attributed to background radiation as well, most of that is attributed to the Soviet Union trying to cover up the Chernobyl situation. But there's actually way more oil deaths, deaths related to oil and coal manufacturing, which is 108 deaths per year, sometimes even more. But in perspective, for every 100,000 oil workers, there's 25 people who will die, and that doesn't even include the deaths from coal and gas. But the big killer is the gas released from those plants. 8.7 million deaths have been attributed to the toxic fumes being inhaled from coal and oil plants, but that's just not poor countries. The USA loses around 52,000 people every year due to these coal and oil fumes. Here are some of the benefits of nuclear power. A lot of this fear comes from nuclear waste, but the thing with thorium reactors is they produce very little waste. Now currently they are not widely used, but I believe they can replace our need for fuel. Fusion is very experimental at the moment, but it's safer than practically all energy programs, and it makes zero waste. If there's more work in the industry, more people can have employment, which will fight rates of global poverty. Is it a risk? Yes, switching energy to nuclear is a risk, but the same thing can be related to hydro or solar, which can all go wrong. That does not mean we should try not do that. Well, that does not mean we should not do that. But our environment is simply something we cannot not do anything on. We need to take a chance to save it. And then going back to nuclear waste, while nuclear waste is a problem that we should be looking at, there's many ways to reduce nuclear waste that is created, such as thorium-based reactors. Using these, less waste is produced, and the catalyst used in it can infinitely be reused. Also, coal plants produce many kilograms of nuclear waste every year in the form of weak uranium, which actually produces more than all of the nuclear waste in the world, attributed to coal plants. And then why it isn't as scary as you think. A lot of people remember Chernobyl or Fukushima, remembering the deaths caused. Most of the deaths attributed to Fukushima were caused by the tsunami and earthquake. A lot of the infant mutations attributed to Chernobyl were caused by poor handling of the situation, and a lot of these mutations weren't even fatal. The main thing that caused disasters like this was the handling of the situation, like the evacuations and cleanup. And finally, how this affects our school. Us being children, we will grow up into a society we have today, and it will be our turn to add on to it. Now, it would be great if the children of our children even did not have to worry about the effects of climate change and not having to be worried about being cold in the winter. So this really does affect us. Our school has made strides in becoming greener, and it could do more. Maybe in the future there will be a section in history books on how the Irish secondary school Edmund Rice College helped pioneer today's energy. Thanks for listening.
Well done.